Plataforma de información musical y radio online. Rutas Alternas. Escucha.
Se acerca la nueva producción de Iceage, proyecto musical que llega desde Dinamarca y estarán mostrando el próximo 7 de mayo a través de la discográfica Mexican Summer su próximo disco en estudio que lleva por título Seek Shelter. Y tenemos el gusto de conectar el día de hoy con Elias Bender en esta videoconferencia para hablar sobre esta nueva producción discográfica. Hola, Elias.
Hey. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, easy. Like, I'm in Copenhagen.
Okay.
It's spring. You know, it's a bit less hostile outside. That's kind of nice.
Oh, sorry to listen about that. But you are a few weeks away to release your new album, right?
Yeah, that's right.
How do you feel?
Yes. I feel all right, you know. It's strange these days, like, because usually I would be on my way to go out and connect with people and play for them, but that's not really what's happening. So it's gonna be really lovely to just get it out there and people can listen to it. But it's also a bit abstract because when you release an album and you just at home, it's hard to understand that people actually get to hear it. But they do, and that's really lovely that this baby can leave its nest.
Elias, it's been a decade since your debut album. How different was the process of creating this record? Because you have these 10 years of more experience and more baggage and more cultural knowledge. How was the process of creating this album?
I think when we recorded the first album, you know, we didn't really know why we were doing things. We didn't like anything around us. We thought we didn't like what was going on in the underground scene. We didn't like the indie scene. We didn't like the mainstream thing. We thought everything was garbage. Nothing was really speaking to us. So we were just lashing out, trying to create whatever we needed ourselves. And then heading into a studio, you know, we didn't know how the hell a studio worked. Like, we've never seen one before. So I've made a few records now, and so have we. So I think just now, like, your sense of imagination is expanded because you have more of an idea of what's possible, and you have pushed yourself so much along the way that you can reach for certain things that you maybe weren't capable back in the day. But it's also just, you know, one thing reflects yourself as an 18-year-old. Now this is a reflection as a 27 or 28-year-old, or you know, it just lives in continuation with living and life.
In this album, you also work with Sonic Boom. How was your experience working with him?
It was good. Yeah, I'd never met him before, but we were big fans of Spaceman 3 and his body of work, and we didn't really know what kind of guy we were about to meet. And I was kind of dreading that we were gonna hate him or not be at all in agreement of how the process should go. But it was easy. He just became part of the group, kind of, and like we had a fucking laugh with him too. Like and you know, like he fit right into this whole dysfunctional entity or family that is us, and just lent himself to and his ideas to making this thing happen, I guess.
It's important with a musical guest and a producer to get this dialogue when you are making your song, when you are in a studio, in order to improve the song. It's good to have this music dialogue with him.
Yeah, I think the best thing a producer could do really is listen. Like, because a band like us, we don't really need somebody to come in and dominate and have the whole idea for us. We need somebody to be attentive and help us along. Like, when when we're banging our heads against the wall and losing our minds, he needs to provide a bit of clarity. When we have too much clarity, he needs to throw some mud in the water, you know, like so always kind of like come in and suggest that thing that's missing, and when you're inside the process, you can kind of be lost in it. So you need somebody to kind of keep an eye out for what's going on.
Elias, have you made the record in Denmark in your own studios?
No, we recorded in Lisbon in Portugal.
Ah, cool. And how was your experience working in the city? It's very important and cultural vibe city, right?
I mean, I love Portugal, and that's part of the reason that we went there, because we kind of have a bit of connection to that city. But it's the way that when we record albums, we hardly ever leave the studio. Like we just bunker it down in the studio and we just sleep a couple hours a night when we really have to. But it's such an important process, and we like to let ourselves get kind of mad. It's kind of good to lose your mind a bit. So we didn't really. The studio was like kind of like surrounded by, in the suburbs, by 60s kind of brutalist looking council estate houses. So we didn't really see much of like the historic inner city. But the studio in itself was very atmospheric. It's kind of dilapidated, a bit falling apart. It was raining inside the studio. Oh. But it kind of felt like there were ghosts living there, and that's the thing. Like when you have to lend yourself to for the process to be something that you can be enraptured by and live inside, you need a place that has atmosphere, and Namush, the studio, had that in spades.
Is it important for Iceage, your city, your community, your cultural environment to make music, to write your lyrics?
Well, at this point, yeah. I mean, I think when we started out, it was a way of creating community and a way to unify people around you and have something to do. And at this point, I think like I would fucking lose my mind if I didn't do it. Like it's an outlet. It's how I make sense of things. And if I didn't have that, if I didn't have to, like everything that goes on here, and if I didn't have songs to project that into, I don't know what the hell would happen.
It's a great way to deal with ourselves and with some of our own issues, right? To make art.
Yeah, it's. I'm grateful that it became a thing, because when I started out, I didn't want to be a musician. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't want to be anything. But it became something that I stumbled into, just having something that provides me with meaning and a sense of purpose, and that's a good thing to have.
Absolutely. And how did music find you, Elias?
Well, I mean, I was always into music, and I grew up in Nørrebro in Copenhagen, where there was like a lot of squats and a big punk scene. So from early on, like it was easy just to make a punk band and play for people and that kind of thing. And I was always interested in music, but I was also like, with all like the crusty punk stuff going on in my neighborhood, like it wasn't really giving me what I needed. Like I wanted to be more than just punk. So I think subconsciously, we started toying around with instruments with no real ambition, but maybe underlying, like we were actually trying to pull things in a direction. But it didn't really. Yeah, it was just a thing to do, I guess.
Elias, Iceage will release the new album, Seek Shelter, this May 7th through Mexican Summer. How was working with Mexican Summer?
I mean, it's good. We would never let any label have any creative say in anything. And they understand that. And they seem to have a good understanding of what we do and what we want to do. And yeah, they seem like good people, you know. No problems there.
I have listened a preview of the album, and I found a lot of energy, a lot of great vibe in most of the songs of the album. But I also found a few songs more intimate, more emotional songs. It was that part of the creating the album, these upside downs.
Well, I mean, I think it's just I don't want to write an album that just portrays one emotion or says one thing. I don't think that's kind of very accurate to how I feel about things. Like everything is a duality. You don't go on about just feeling one way all of the time. Like it's a push and pull. You're kind of like everything is two-sided. Everything is complicated. So to me, it makes sense for an album to sort of reflect that. And maybe even within the same song, be able to display anger or vulnerability or joy or melancholia or like, you know, it's yeah.
I particularly enjoy Love Kills Slowly. Amazing song, man.
Thanks.
Amazing album. I'm really looking forward to listen to the whole album on May 7. You will publish the album on vinyl or CD?
Yeah. Well, all of it.
And we can buy it here in Mexico, right? From your website.
I bloody hope so, yeah.
Do you have any plans to come to Mexico? Maybe next year?
I mean, it's hard to make plans right now. But the two times I have been to Mexico, I've loved it, and I've only played Mexico City. I want to see more of it, and the audience was really fucking good last time in Mexico City. So whenever I'm allowed to, I bloody hope I can come back. Yeah.
And I also hope you can make it to other cities. I'm here in Guadalajara, and there's Monterrey and other cities that you have to play over there.
Man, I'd love to. As soon as this COVID shit will allow me to, I'll work on it.
Elias, congratulations on the new Iceage album. Really enjoy the songs. I hope you can make it to Mexico. You have any plans to play in Europe in this year?
No, like it's nothing. Like everything is chaos here. Nobody knows what's going on. So my plans is so much just I'm gonna bring a guitar and I'm just gonna travel and play for whoever. Because we're not gonna be able to really play concerts this summer. So I'm a musician. I can't play concerts, so I'm just gonna go fucking try and get lost and see who I can play for.
Well, Elias, looking forward to listen the album on digital platforms and physical formats. Seek Shelter on May 7 through Mexican Summer, and really looking forward to see you live here in Mexico next year.
Yeah, man, nice talking to you.
Elias, thank you so much for this chat with Rutas Alternas.
Yeah, hope to make it to Mexico sooner rather than later.
Plataforma de información musical y radio online. Rutas Alternas. Escucha.